Should we start off or any introduction?
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. A very warm welcome to yet another session of Weekend with Wisdom. Let me begin with a small prayer. Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Shri Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Today is the second concluding session of our session by Dr. Aravinda on the Niti-Shatakam of Bhartrihari, focusing on Bhartrihari's teachings regarding Artha and Dharma. So yesterday Aravinda highlighted many interesting aspects from, I think he covered around half of the first select verses from first half of the Shatakam. And today he will continue that. So without further ado, I welcome you, sir. Again, thank you for taking time to come on our show. You can go ahead and start the session.
Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Thank you, Nitinji, for the good words. And this is my second talk. This is my second talk, as you said, on Bhartrihari's Niti-Shatakam. And maybe later we will have two talks each on Sringara-Shatakam and Vairagya-Shatakam also. Yesterday we covered 5 sections. I was telling you that there are 10 sections in this Niti-Shatakam, each section having 10 verses. Yesterday also I read about 17, 18 verses. Today also I have selected about 20 verses. I don't know whether I will be able to complete or not. But 20 verses, even if I take about 5 minutes or so for each verse, it will take some time. Let us see how we do that. So I was telling you that Bhartrihari in his Niti-Shataka, he has covered the 2 Purusharthas, that is Dharma and Artha are covered in the Niti-Shataka. And Kama is covered in Sringara-Shataka naturally, and moksha is covered in Vairagya-Shataka. That is probably the or conscious design or unconscious design of Bhartrihari, we cannot say, but that is very, very clearly seen. That particular structure is very clearly seen. Dharma and Artha are told in the first Shataka, that is Niti-Shataka. So yesterday we covered, and in this Niti-Shataka, I was telling you that, I mean, he is telling about different styles of different types of people. He started with the fools, that is the people, incorrigible people who are opinionated and then who just do not want to listen to others, that is Murkha Paddhati. Then again, he talked about the wise people, Vidvat Paddhati. Then again, he talked about the people who are self-respecting, Mana Shaurya Paddhati. He talked about Mana Shaurya Paddhati. Then again, he talked about Artha. Artha is wealth. How wealth is very, very important. Then again, Durjana Paddhati also. Durjana Paddhati means all the bad people, evil guys, what is their style of, what is their type of conduct, what is their style of conduct. Then again, now we will start with the Sujana Paddhati. Today, the 6th section, its name is Sujana. Sujana, as you know, it is the opposite of Durjana. So Sujana is good people, basically the ethical, the way of life, or the way the ethical, upright persons behave. So that is what is the Sujana Paddhati. So I will straight away start reading the shlokas, and you just relax and enjoy the shlokas. So the very first shloka in this section is Vancha Sajjana Sangatau Paragune Pritihi Gurau Namrata Vidyayam Vyasanam Swayoshiti Ratihi Lokapavadad Bhayam. I am just breaking and reading it. Bhaktishu Shaktiratma Damane Samsargamuktis Khalaihi Ede Shuvasanti Nirmala Guna Stebhyo Namah Kurmahe. It goes on like that if I want to use some little bit of raga. So how are these people? How do these people behave? Good people. How is their conduct? They always keep good company. Vancha sajjana sangato. Sajjana sangati. Sajjana sangati is satsangatvam, as Shankaracharya calls it. Sajjana sangato. And that is like a big medicine. Sajjana sangati is like a medicine which destroys lot many of the mental maladies. Then paragune pritihi. Then he is not envious. They are not envious of other people's virtues. So these people, they love virtues in others and then they befriend them. And they do not hate, they do not envy, there's no jealousy or anything. Then Guru Namrata. And if Guru means not necessarily the Guru who teaches, but Guru means all elderly people. All elderly people. Namrata. Namrata is humility. Nama is Prakribhava. Namrata is something similar to that. So Namrata. We see in Ramayana that Rama is always having the company of Jnana Vruddha, Shila Vruddha, and Vayo Vruddha. So we see Ayodhya Kanda of Ramayana. It talks about 3 types of people with whom always Rama is associated. There are Jnana Vruddhas who are wise in terms of Jnana, and Vayo Vruddhas, elderly people who have a lot of experience in their life. And they have seen lot many situations. So whenever if there is a situation, okay, they will say, oh, in this situation, this can be done. Then again, Shila Vruddha, they may be young people, but character, seeing their character, it is in such immaculate, impeccable character. So such people, Rama surrounds himself with. So that is what we see in Ramayana. So like that, Guru Namrata. Then Vidyayam Vyasanam. So Vyasanam usually means addiction. Addiction is something bad, but these people, they have got a good addiction, that is Vidya, learning. They have got an addiction for learning. Then Swayoshiti Rati. Yosha means woman. Swayoshiti, in one's own woman. That is in one's own wife, with one's own wife. All is Rati. Rati means all is love, affection, and sex. All these things are with one's own wife and not with not outside. That is what we also promise. What Nati-Charami. The man also promises, the woman also promises at the time of marriage. If you remember, there is a promise called Nati-Charami, Dharmesha, Arthesha, Kamesha, Nati-Charami. So like that. So Lokapavadat Bhayam. They are very afraid of getting a bad name. So they they cannot do anything bad. They cannot do anything bad because they are having that fear of, not only fear of loka, not only fear of law, but they are afraid of getting a bad name. They are so conscious about their character. Then Bhakti Shulini. Bhakti, Shuli means Shiva. Of course, we need not conclude that Bhartrihari is a worshipper of Shiva or anything. Shiva means basically God. We'll see the same prayer to Shiva in the beginning of Vairagya-Shataka. We'll see that. And the significance there, I will tell you. And Bhakti Shulini. Right now we can say Astikyam. Astikyam is a person who believes, who has faith in God. So that Bhakti is very much needed, because Bhakti is a very, very positive factor which keeps the mind in order. A person who is a devotee, his time is spent in Bhakti and not somewhere in the bar or somewhere in some other place. The evenings are spent in a temple, not in some other place. Then Bhakti Shulini. Shakti Atma Damane. Atma Damana. Damana is control, self-control. Self-control is very, very important for anybody. Atma Damane. Sansarga Mukti Kalaihi. Sansarga Mukti. He just detaches himself, any type of contact with the Kala. Kala means all the bad people. Just disconnects himself from all those people. So that he promptly does. These are the people. And these are the people. Tebhyo Namah Kurmahe. We find some people like that. And we have to bow to them. Bhartrihari bows to those people who have all these virtues. And the very next sloka also is good. I'll read this thing. And here what he says is, how is there some more factors or some more aspects of their character? What are they? Vipadi Dhairyam Abhyudaye Kshama Sadasi Vakpatuta Yudhi Vikramaha Yashasisya Abhiratihi Vyasanam Shrutau Prakriti Siddhamidam Hi Mahatmanam. For all great people, there is what is called Prakriti Siddham. It's something which is their nature, the very nature is like that. What is their very nature? Vipadi Dhairyam. Vipat is an adversity. In times of adversity, they do not lose their confidence. There they have this dhairyam. Dhairya is dhirasya bhavaha dhairyam. We are also seeing one more section on dhairyam. Dhairyam is dhirasya bhavaha, unshaken. That unshakenness, let us say, that is dhairyam. In terms of adversity, they have that dhairyam. And atha abhyudaye kshama. And when you are strong, abhyudaya is when you are strong. Somebody has earlier insulted you when you are weak. And when you are strong, you have that sense of forgiveness. Abhyudaye kshama. Kshama is forgiveness. Somebody might have offended you when you are weak. But still, when you are strong, this is what Mahabharata also says. Mahabharata says, when you are strong, you should be lenient. When you are weak, you have to be mentally strong. When you are in adversity, you have to be mentally strong. But when you are strong, then you have to be forgive in just forgetting or excusing people. So that is what is advocated in Srimad Mahabharata also. Then sadasi vakpatuta. Sadasi, in meetings, suppose you attend meetings, you should have the ability to debate. So these are the qualities with which they are endowed. All these great people, they are endowed with these qualities. Sadasi vakpatuta, yudhi vikramaha. And in the battle, if it comes to fight, then they are very, very boldly move forward. Vikrama. Krama means a step. Vikrama means takes a very strong step. We also know the word Trivikrama, Lord Vamana. Krama actually means a step. Vikrama means somebody who Vikrama, Parakrama, all these things are different, almost similar words. So these people, a person may be having strength, but he may not be having Vikrama. That is ability to move forward or boldness to move forward. But these are the people who have that moral courage and that fortitude of mind to move forward. Then Yashas is Abhiratihi. They are very conscious of their fame. Fame not by doing anything, some hanky-panky, but by doing good works. Not ill fame, but good fame. That is, by doing good works, they want to have fame. Then Vyasanam Shrutav. Again, what was told in the first shloka. There Vidya, but here Vyasanam Vidyayam Vyasanam. That is learning. But here Vyasanam Shrutav. Shruti is scriptures. These kings, not only kings, all the people, we are all supposed to read the scriptures. Not only the kings, but all of us. Our duty is there is a runam. This is actually something which we are indebted to our rishis. Our rishis have given us these scriptures, and if we don't read them, we die indebted to them. So if you want to be redeemed from their debt, we are supposed to study and we are supposed to propagate what is there in our scriptures. So that is what is that Rishi Runam, it is called. So Vyasanam Shruto, Prakriti Siddhamidam Mahatmana. These are the things with which the Mahatmas are naturally endowed with. Then again, another similar thing about how their minds are so strong. There is an example of Sampatsu Mahatam Chittam Bhaved Utpala Komalam. Sampatsu, when they are in plenty, when they are in riches, they are having all riches, there is absolutely no problem. Then they don't show off, and then they are not arrogant, and then they don't insult people when they are very strong, and not only strong, but plenty also. Sampat is plentiness, plenty. That is when they are having a lot of riches. Then these people, they are very, very kind to other people. Bhaved Utpala Komalam. Utpalam means a lotus or a lily, let us say. Lily, not lotus, but a lily. It is as soft as a lily. Bhaved Utpala Komalam. Then Apatsucha. Apatsu means when there is a crisis situation, when there is a challenging situation, when there is an adversity. Maha Shaila Shila Sanghata Karkasham. Maha Shaila Shila Sanghata. Even the words, even yesterday we saw some of the poems where the words, they indicate that even if we don't understand it, we see the heaviness of that simile or upamana there. Maha Shaila Shila Sanghata. That is a mountainous rock. That is a mountain, is a Shaila. Shaila is mountain. Shila Sanghata, that huge rock formation. So that huge rock, it is like that. So their minds, when they are having all plenty, all riches with them, they are very kind. But even when in adversity, even when they are very, very poor also, they are very strong in their minds, like their minds become mountainous rocks. Shila Sanghada Karkasham, even for taking a tough decision, for taking any tough decision also. And in fact, something similar has been told about Rama in Bhavabhuti's Uttara Ramacharita. Bhavabhuti says, the two characters, they speak among them, between themselves. They say, oh, how can we guess the nature of people? How can we understand the minds of great people? Rama, they are talking about Rama. Rama cried a lot when Sita was lost, when Sita was abducted by Ravana. Rama cried. We see all that in Aranyakanda and all that Aranyakanda, Kishkinda Kanda. Later also, we see Rama crying. And but at the same time, when Sita was entering fire, Rama was just silent. He didn't say anything. Of course, Rama didn't ask. There is one misunderstanding which we have to drive away from our mind. Rama didn't ask her to step into the fire. If you kindly read that Ramayana, Yuddhakanda, Sita volunteers to step into that fire in order to prove her character, not for Rama, for everybody else, for all the onlookers. That entire thing is for the onlookers, not for Rama. But Rama, as a king, he keeps quiet there. So then, talking about that, these people, they say, Vajradapi kathorani, mruduni kusumadapi, lokottaranam chetamsi, kohi vignatum. They say, that is Lokottara. Lokottara Purusha is somebody who is outstanding. They are not run-of-the-mill people. They are outstanding people. For such people, how do we know? How can we understand the minds of these people? And sometimes they are very strong. Tougher than Vajra. Vajradapi Kathorani. They are stronger than the Vajra. Vajra is a diamond. And diamond, it is very difficult to cut it. Then sometimes they are so soft like a petal, rose petal. Mruduni Kusumadapi. Kusumat api. Kusuma is let us say any flower, say a rose petal. Sometimes they are as soft as a rose petal. And sometimes they are very strong like Vajra. How can we understand the minds of very great people? So minds of great people, they adjust themselves to whatever any challenging situation, they can adjust. So that is one sloka. Then we come to another sloka. Yeah, another sloka where the poet uses a word called Asidhara Vratam. Asidhara. Dhara. Asi means a sword. Dhara means the edge of the sword. Suppose we have to walk on the edge of the sword. It's such a tough thing to walk on the edge of a sword. So, but the conduct of great persons, if we want to follow that path, if we want to follow their way, it is like walking on a sword's edge, he says. And what is it? Pradhanam prachannam. Pradhanam prachannam gruham upagate sambrama vidhi. This is shloka number 57. Pradhanam prachannam gruhamupagate sambrama vidhi priyam krutva maunam sadasi kathanam cha pyupakrutehe anutseko lakshmiyam nirabhivavasara parakathaha satam kenodishtam vishamam asidhara vratamidam, he says. Asidhara vratam. This vratam, this every day, not as though they do it on one day, but that is their way of life. It is their way of life. All through the life, they are like that. If you see Rama in Ramayana, everywhere you find that this particular aspect, or Dharmaraja in Bharatam. So we see Pradhanam Prachannam. Suppose somebody is donating something. And nowadays, sometimes we also see that some people, they donate and then they prepare a very big check and then there is a VIP and then there is released to the media, it is released, there is a meeting for that, etc., etc. So, but then here, the great people, Pradhanam, whatever the charity they do it with all humility. Prachannam, it is not as though you have to secretly do it in order to avoid some IT people or anything like that. Pradhanam Prachannam, in olden days, of course, IT was not there. This Pradhanam Prachannam, that is Dana, is supposed to be given in a very humble manner. Because Taittiriya, there is a one Upanishad, we know, Taittiriya Upanishad, it says, Ashraddhaya deyam, Ashraddhaya adeyam, Shriya deyam, Priya deyam, Samvida deyam. So many ways in which it says you have to give like this, you have to give like this, you have to give like this. Shraddhaya deyam, Shraddha, with all earnestness and with all humility also, we have to give Shraddha. It is not as though you are just throwing away something. Then Ashraddhaya adeyam. Don't do ashraddha, don't insultingly give to people. Then Shriya Deyam, according to your wealth, you have to give. Hriya Deyam. Hriya Deyam means with all Hri. Yesterday also we got this word. Hri is lajja. That is with a sense of, oh, I am not able to give more than this. That sort of lajja. Hriya Deyam, then Samvida Deyam, and also knowing that you are giving for a good person, giving to a good person, not financing terrorists or anything like that. So Samvida Deyam. So this is how it has to be given. Then Gruham Upagate Sambhrama Vidhihi. Somebody comes, a guest comes. You have to receive him with all enthusiasm. Enthusiastically, you have to joyously or actively receive him. It's not as though you just walk into the bedroom and then the fellow comes and sits there in the drawing room for waits for some time, and then you step in after 15 minutes or so. Not like that. We are supposed to receive. Pratyutthanam, Abhyutthanam, not Abhyutthanam, then you have to Pratyutthanam. You have to get up, rise up, and go to the door and receive him. So that is how an Atithi has to be received. That is what our books say. Sambhrama Vidhi, Sambhrama means with all enthusiasm, with all alertness, with all activeness, you have to receive. And Priyam Krutva Maunam. Suppose you have done a favor to somebody, and we should not talk about all that thing everywhere. Priyam Krutva Maunam. Bhartrihari is saying that great people do like that. That is, great people, they do favors, but they don't talk about it. But then, if they have taken favors or somebody has helped them, they tell them, they praise the other people, even in meetings. Sadasi kathanam cha pyupakrutehe. Suppose I am benefited by somebody, I have to praise him. I have to actually tell about it in a meeting. Oh, this gentleman is such a great person. He has helped me. So it is like that. Then Anutseko Lakshmiyam. Lakshmi is wealth. Anutsekaha. There is not a bit of arrogance when you are rich. And Nirabhibhavasaraha Parakathaha. Suppose when you are talking about somebody else in their absence, then we are not supposed to berate them. We are not supposed to talk bad about them. It's actually, even in the parliamentary behavior also, they are not supposed to speak about somebody who is not present in the hall. So only when a person is present, they are supposed to speak. So here also, Nirabhibhavasaraha, not berating. Abhibhava means insulting. Or rather talking in a rather deprecating manner about a person. So not telling bad about others when they are not there. That is, Alexander Pope says in The Rape of the Lock, at every word a reputation dies. So there is a meeting of all these Victorian women, not Victorian, that at that time, particular time, Pope's time, how all these women, the British women, they used to meet in various meeting places, and then how they used to drink, and then how they used to talk ill about others. At every word a reputation dies, he says. So like that, here the great people do not do that. The last line says, Satam kenodishtam vishamam asidhara vratamidam. This vishamam, this is such a difficult thing, asidhara vratam. Who has taught these great people this particular vratam? Then the next, another shloka, 58, it talks about santapta, it talks about how we rise or fall according to our association. Depending on our association, we rise or fall. If we keep company, if we keep good company, we rise. If we keep bad company, we fall. So that is my simile, and some examples are given. You see, santapta is sansthitasya payaso namapi na shruyate. I will not read the shlokas too many because I may be telling the meaning, but I will not read out because some people who do not know Sanskrit may feel rather inhibited. Santapta is samsthitasya payaso namapi na shruyate. Suppose there is a water drop, and that water drop is falling on a hot pan, a red hot pan. Namapi na shruyate means it just disappears in no time. Namapi, its name itself is even not seen. Then Muktakarataya, the same water drop falls on the petal of lotus, the white lotus, and then it falls on a lotus petal, and then it shines like a pearl. The same water, it shines like a pearl. But then when it falls in the mouth of Shukti, in that Shukti, Antasagara Shukti Madhyapatitam, when it falls into that Shukti is that oyster shell. That oyster's mouth, when it falls, then the same water drop, it becomes a pearl, a real pearl. These are the natural pearls. They're also called oriental pearls, I am told. So these pearls, when the water drop falls in the mouth of that oyster, then that becomes a pearl, real pearl. So it is like that. Prayena adhama madhyama uttama jusham evam vidha vuttaya. Adhama madhyama uttama. When you are associating with adhama, that is lowly people, then even the name is not heard, like the water drop on a hot pan. And you shine like as though you are a pearl when you are in the company of normal people. But in the company of great people, you really become a pearl. It's a nice shloka. Then one more shloka, let us see. Or we will come to the next section. We will come to the next section. It is called Paropakara Paddhati. Para Upakara. That is somebody who is always engaged in benefiting others, causing good to others. Somebody who is a type of good Samaritan, we can call a good Samaritan, humanitarian person, somebody who is having that humanitarian approach. So that these people, how are they? They are also similar to the earlier section, that is Sujana Paddhati. See, they are Sujana, here Paropakara. Not only some good people, they are also always engaged in helping others. And the people are compared to the fruits, the fruit-bearing trees. If you see a mango tree full of fruits, then all the branches are down. That is the example given. Bhavanti namras taravah phalodgamaihi. Phalodgamaihi. When there plenty of fruits are there, mango fruits are there, and then they're ripe, and then all the branches are down. And once you do harvesting again, the branches go up. So when it is full of flowers, fruits, then it is all the branches are down. Namraha. Similarly, the good people also, they are like that, he's going to say. Then one more comparison is Navambubhihi Duravilambino Ghanaha. Athava Bhuri Vilambino. There is another Pathantaram also. Navambubhir Bhuri Vilambino Ghanaha. Ghana is a cloud, a water-bearing cloud. And that water-bearing cloud, when it is a shallow cloud, it will be just floating somewhere above. But when it is a water-bearing cloud, it gravitates, it comes down and then very, very close to earth. So they are like that. Navambubhir duravilambino ghanaha anuddhata satpurusha samruddhibhihi. When there is samruddhi, when they are able to give, when they have plenty, and when they are without reason also they do give. Even the fruits, all the trees, they are just giving us fruit. They don't get anything. They are giving us fruit. Similarly, the clouds, they are raining even without asking. So these people, they are like that. Swabhava eva isha paropakarana. Swabhava, it is their very nature. It is their very nature to be helpful to other people. Then in the same section, we can see one or two more slokas. One more sloka is about different types of people. The poet contrasts the good people with other people who actually cause hurdles to others and then who spoil the work of others. So the good people are those who go out of the way to help others. They even forget about their own benefit and then try to help others. Whereas the other people, there are some people who do their own work and also help others. And there are some people who, for their sake, destroy other people's work. And lastly, there are some ugly people, good, bad, and ugly category, who, without even any benefit to themselves, they want to, without any reason also, they want to cause hurdles to others. So that is one nice shloka. Ete satpurushaha, this shloka number 64. Ete satpurushaha parartha ghatakaha. Swarthan parityajya. Their own activity, they just keep aside for some time, and then they try to do the work of others. Then samanyastu parartham udyama bhrutaha swartha virodhenaye. Samanya people, ordinary people, how are they? They do their own pursuits. They are engaged in their own pursuits, but at the same time, they also help others, devote some time for others. Then there are some demonic people. Temi manusha rakshasaha parahitam swarthaya nignantiye. And for one's own self, they cause obstacles for the cause of others. They are manusha rakshasaha, they are demonic people of demonic temperament. Then the last category is what I just don't know how to describe them. The poet says, Yetu gnanti nirarthakam parahitam. Nirarthakam, without any cause, without any motive. They ghananti parahitam. Whatever is, some good is accruing to somebody, some good is happening to somebody, not only leave alone helping them, some good is happening to somebody. These people, they obstruct it. Suppose somebody is getting something, suppose somebody is getting some money or getting benefited in some manner. These people, they try to harm it. Gnanti nirarthakam parahitam. We don't know how to name them who hurt other people without any motive also, without any profit to them also. So such people we just cannot describe. So this is the type of different types of people we see. Then we see one more, we can see one more shloka from this section. For example, it says shloka number 70. Shloka number 70, it says, it is talking about good people who are, this is about promoting good in others. Shloka number 70 is about promoting good in others. How do they do that? Manasi vachasi kaye punya piyusha purna. Manasi vachasi kaye punya piyusha purna. They are filled with that nectar in mind, word and speech, mind, speech and action. Manaha vak kaya. Kaya means body. Manaha is mind. Vachasa is walk. That is, there are only three instruments with which we interact with the other world. Of course, with five senses, we receive all impressions and all knowledge. But then with the three tools or sadhanas, with the three tools only, we interact with the external world. What are these three tools? One is the mind. Then the other is the speech. By speaking, I can do some good or bad to some people. Mind also, by thinking good or bad about others, I can do some harm. Then again, action, physically doing some good or physically doing something bad. So, but then good people, they are punya piyusha purna. Piyusha is nectar. They are filled with this nectar. Both in all the three things, that is mind, speech, and body, they are filled with the nectar. That means that they have got this three karana shuddhi. In normal terms, it is called three karana shuddhi. Karanam is organ, tool, let us say. Three karana shuddhi means in these three ways in which we interact with the world, they are pure. They don't have one thing in the mind, they don't have something else in the speech, they don't have something else in the action. They are the villainous people. Then good people, there is no conflict between what the mind thinks and what the words are and what the action is. So there is no conflict. There is no distance between the mind and the heart. So that is what some people say. Whatever is in the heart comes out in the mind, and the same thing is translated into action. A heart again is good heart, not bad heart. Bad-hearted people also, they can speak and then they can speak ill and then do ill. Not like that. The punya piyusha purna. That is why he says it is filled with that nectar. Then tribhuvana upakara srenibhih prinayantah. Tribhuvanam, all people. Three worlds, he says. Bhuhu bhuvaha suvaha. But then all people. It means all people. Upakara srenibhih prinayantah. The series of upakara. Series means always doing. They make them happy in several ways, and always they are engaged in helping others. Then again, paraguna paramanun parvati krutya nityam nija hrudi vikasantas santi santah kiyantah. A wonderful line. Paraguna paramanun parvati krutya nityam. Suppose somebody is having some virtue, and we are supposed to acknowledge that virtue. The great people, they acknowledge even the smallest virtue in others. Just as a good man, an evil person, yesterday we saw, he blames every guna, every virtue is dubbed as its polar opposite. But here, even if a small virtue is there, a great man, he recognizes it and encourages it. That is how we can promote goodness in others. Suppose there is a young man, maybe he may be committing some faults, but he is having some virtue. Suppose we recognize it, we acknowledge it, and then we praise it also. Oh, this man is endowed with this. So naturally, that sprouts in him, and then that grows in him, and he would like to live up to your description. So paraguna paramana, parvati krutya, even a small thing, he makes a mountain of a molehill. Exact translation is that, but then we should not take like that. We should say he acknowledges it, and then he magnifies it. Magnifies means he acknowledges profusely, let us say. And he wants to promote. The idea is to promote that good in the other people. Nija hrudi vikasantaha. In their own minds, they are full of bliss. When they don't have enmity with anybody, the minds are full of bliss. Nijahrudi vikasantaha santi santah kiyantaha. How many such good people are there? So he says. Now we come to another section called Dhairya Paddhati. Dhairya. Dhairyam, what is Dhairyam? Dhairyam normally what we mean is boldness. Dhairyam, the normal meaning is boldness. But in Shastras, the meaning of Dhairya is something different. For example, Kathopanishad it says, Kashchid dhira pratyagatma anamaikshat. Dhira. Dhira is, in the Shastras, which he also, Bhartrihari also takes, Dhiyam Rati. Dhi. What is Dhi? Dhi means Buddhi. Dhiyam Rati Grunhati iti dhira. That is one who controls his mind, one who controls all his passions, and having a strong mind also. One more definition which Kalidasa gives is Vikara Hetau Sati na Vikriyante Esham na Chetam si Sayeva Dhira, or rather Tayeva Dhira. If it is plural, Tayeva Dhira. What is it? Vikara hetau sati. Even when there is a cause for disturbance of mind, vikara hetau sati. Vikara means some disturbance, some sort of frustration, some sort of disturbance. These people are unperturbed. Vikara hetau sati. Even when there are so many causes for the mind getting perturbed, their minds, they never get perturbed. Na vikriyante yesham na chetamsi tayeva dhira. That is, they are the people who are dhiras. And a person who can control his mind. It is only when a person controls his mind that he will be able to sit in a Vedanta class, sit in a Gnana class. Till that time, he cannot sit in the class, because if the mind is getting perturbed, if the mind is getting distracted, attracted by so many things, he cannot sit in a Vedanta class. So that is what is the meaning of dhira in Upanishads, and also in the Gita also. There are a couple of places where Lord Krishna uses the word dhira. So it is like that. Here also, dhira is used in that sense. The very first shloka of that thing, Dhairya Paddhati, it tells about the churning of ocean. Churning of ocean, we are aware of that story. The churning of ocean, both the gods and the demons, they associate, and then they get, initially there is a halahalam. Halahalam is that great poison. Then again, they get like many small benefits, all diamonds and all types of things they do get. And then Airavatam, somebody Lakshmi comes, and then Dhanvantari comes, and finally nectar comes. So these gods, see, these people, they were not satisfied when they initially got some Ratnaihi, they got some gems and then all types of precious things when they got. They were not contented. Ratnair Mahabdes Tutushurna Deva, these gods, they were not contented. In fact, it was Devas, it is the idea of the Devas only to serve the ocean. They invite the Rakshasas. They want association of the Rakshasas also, because Devas themselves cannot do. So Rakshasas also have to come. So they were not contented when they got all these ratnas and gems and all that. Na bhejire bhima vishena bhitim. And they were not scared. They were not scared when all that visham, when all that great poison came out. Shiva came, and then Shiva swallowed that poison. He took that poison into his throat. And they did not, the gods, they didn't leave their activity. Then Sudham Vinana Prayayur Viram. Without getting that Sudha is Amrutam. Na Nishitarthat Viramanti Dhiraha. These people with steadfastness, with people with resolute minds, they do not leave their whatever action, whatever activity they have taken up. People of resolute mind, they do not leave. Then another shloka also, somewhat similar, it says, a very popular shloka, also very famous shloka, quoted always, Prarabhyate khalu vigna bhayena nichaihi. Prarabhya vigna nihata viramanti madhyaha vignair muhurapi pratihanyamanaha prarabdham uttama gunana parityajanti. It goes like that. And the people, we know that always Shastras, they put people in three categories: Uttama, Madhyama, Adhama. So the Uttama, niche, Adhama, he is talking about the Adhama people first. Adhama people, they don't start off, oh, it is something which is, it is beyond us. Suppose there is a big task. No, how can I appear for some UPSC exam? I will not get it. Or how can I start a company? Or how can I do this thing? I cannot do that. So that is how the people, oh, something which is beyond us, we can't face it, we can't handle it. So they don't even start. Then again, prarabhya vigna nihataha. When they encounter some obstacle, then these people, somebody, the madhyama means an ordinary man, let us say. So these are the people who give up. Okay, they fight for some time and then they say, okay, it is beyond me, I can't fight. You just give it up. Then the uttama people, that is the people of resolute mind, what do? Vignaihi muhurmuhurapi vinihanya pratihanyamanaha. Though obstacles come again and again, somebody is putting some hurdles, but these people, they just pursue and achieve the task. So this is what we see in Raghuvamsha also. Kalidasa calls them aphalodaya karmanam asamudra kshitishanam. So in that sloka he says aphalodaya karmana. And when they take up a karma, they will not leave till they achieve the fruit, till they achieve the phalam. Phalodaya. Phalodaya is phalasya udaya, till the fruit is attained. Till that phalam, till the result is positive, result is attained, these people, they do not leave their pursuit. So that is one sloka. Then another sloka is also an interesting sloka. It says, Kvachit prithvishayyaha. A person who is a person of resolute mind, he is engaged in a task. Then in that task, he has to endure so many difficulties, and he endures all those difficulties without any problem. And what are those difficulties? So he says, Kvachit prithvishayyaha. We should take symbolically, or rather figuratively. What Kvachit prithvishayyaha, that is, you may have to sleep on the floor. And Kvachitapisha paryankashayanaha. Somewhere you will get a paryanka. Paryanka is a nice bed. That is a nice place to stay. Then Kvachit shakaharaha. Shakahara doesn't mean vegetarian food. Shakahara means only leaves, etc. So somebody who is there in a forest and then just surviving on leaves. Shaka is only leaves. So we call it Shakahara because it is contrasted with Mamsahara. So that is the reason we say Shakahara. Unfortunately, in Telugu states, some hotels, they also write a Shakahara. Shaka means a branch. So we don't eat branches, we only eat leaves. So it should be Shakahara. Shakahara. They'll just live on leaves, etc. Suppose somebody is in a forest. We are talking about visualizing an old situation where people had to move, somebody is on a task and then he has no home and then he's staying on the ground somewhere and then he's just sleeping on the ground somewhere he gets some bed, somewhere he gets no food and then he survives on leaves and then somewhere he may get very good food. Kvachitapisha shalyodana ruchihi. Shalyodana. Shali means shali, that is the rice which we eat, fine rice which we eat. Somewhere he gets some fine food. Then again, Kvachit kantadhari. Kantha is a rag. Somewhere he wears all torn out and rags also. Kvachitapisha divyambara. Somewhere he gets a very splendid dress. Very splendid divyambara. Divya means divine. Splendid, so magnificent dress he gets. And manasvi karyarthi in a ganayati sukham na dukkham. The manasvi is a person with a firm mind, a person of resolute mind. He doesn't bother about what is sukham or dukkham. Where some happiness is there, some unhappiness is there, all types of difficulties he faces. These are the people who are manasvi. Manasvi is a person of strong mind. Then again, one more sloka, one or two more slokas. One or two more slokas we see here. Then, okay, we'll see. We'll read out one more. I'll read out one more sloka. It says, Aishwaryasya vibhushanam sujanata. When somebody is having Aishwaryam is all plenty and all wealth, plenty. Vibhushanam sujanata. When somebody is having all riches, what is the vibhushanam? What is the ornament for him? Sujanata, good nature is his ornament. Not the real ornaments which a person wears, but good nature is his ornament. Then Shauryasya Vaksanyamaha. Shaurya, a person is a valorous person. A valorous person should not go and challenge all other people. He should have that control on his tongue. All strong people, they always brag about their strength. In whatever field we are strong, we always brag about it. That is the human nature. But a shaurya, a person, particularly a person who is physically strong or physically valorous, he keeps on challenging other people and he keeps on trying to pick up fights with other people. Big nations also always do that. Then jnanasya upashamaha. Jnanam, somebody is having, somebody is in the pursuit of knowledge. For him, upashama. Upashama is that control on the senses. Then shrutasya vinayah. And all the a lot of knowledge he is having. That means he has studied many shastras and all that. Where for him, vinaya, like a rich man tries to flaunt his wealth, a highly educated man, he wants to flaunt his knowledge. He would like to flaunt his knowledge. Shrutasya vinaya. But maybe for the purpose of education, we may try to say something, but then we are not supposed to flaunt our knowledge. Then vittasya patre vyayah. Vittasya, when you are having money, what is the bhushanam? What is the bhushanam? What is the ornament for that? Patre vyayah. Satpatra danam we say. We should not give to bad people. We should always be for good people only. Then akrodhas tapasaha. When somebody is doing tapas when you are engaged in tapas is an exercise in self-control. Basically, tapas is the word tapa has two meanings. Tapa alochane is one meaning, and tapa like surya tapam, that is something heating up. So heating and also giving light. Giving light means giving, thinking about a thing. So that is the meaning of tapas. When we are doing tapas, we are putting some self-control. Walk tapas. Gita describes as, in fact, it has got 6 shlokas on tapas. Sattva Sattvika tapas, Rajasa tamas, and tapas and tamasa tapas. And again, the tapas, Vak tapas, and then again Manasa tapas, and also Kaika tapas. So 6 types of tapas it describes. So tapas is actually an exercise in self-control. In very small, simple words, it is an exercise in some self-control. So there, when you are doing that, akrodha is the bhushanam. What is the ornament for a tapasvi? You should not get angry. I say I am in spiritual pursuit, and the moment I see somebody, I get angry. So that is not the symbol, that is not the sign of a tapasvi. Then kshama prabhavituhu, somebody who is having a prabhava. You are having that all strength, but then kshama is forgiveness. So these are the things. Dharmasya nirvyajata. Dharma, when you are doing some good to others, nirvyajata. Vyaja means there should not be any links, there should not be any strings attached to no missionary motives when you are helping people. No strings attached when you are helping others. Nirvyajata. Nirvyaja. Vyaja means some sort of a link. Or whatever help we do should not be linked to anything. Any benefit which we later get, it should not be like that. So sarvesham api sarvakaranamidam sheelam param bhushanam. So this is the sheelam or character is the greatest bhushanam, is the greatest ornament for human beings. So this is one thing. Then we have seen, so far we have seen 8 sections dealing with 8 types of people. Starting with fools, and then starting with learned people, starting with good people, starting with good Samaritans, then again dhairya paddhati, then again all 8 types of people who are engaged, who are there in all these worldly activities, who are engaged in all the worldly activities. That is dharma and artha. So now he is giving some sort of what can we say, final touches for what he is telling about dharma and artha. In these 2 sections, the last 2 sections, the 9th section and 10th section, the 9th section is called Daiva Paddhati. Daiva Paddhati. Daiva, and the 10th section is called Karma Paddhati. What is the meaning of this word Daiva? Daiva does not mean God. Usually we think that Daivam, oh Daivam, Dao Daivama, we say. Daiva doesn't mean God. Daivam is Devat Agatam Daivam. That is what we have to remember. Devat Agatam Daivam. So here, what is this Devat Agatam? So Shubha Karma Phala. The commentators, they write, what is this Daivam? Daivam is Shubha Karma Phala. Suppose I do some activity today. I do some karma. Karma means some good work, or some good work or bad work I do. And the fruit of it, I have to jolly well experience it, the fruit of it. I do good, and then there is some good phalam. I do bad, that bad phalam also is there. So I have to experience that fruit. That is called karma phala bhoga, it is said. So then what is daivam? Daivam is nothing but today's karma becomes tomorrow's daivam. Today I do some karma. Tomorrow, if not tomorrow, in the next janma or in a later janma, I have to experience it in some other janma. So that is what is daivam. The present daivam is my past karma is the present daivam. So that is my own action comes back to me in the form of daivam. So for this, the commentators they quote one thing I will just read from one quotation. It is from Matsya Purana. Matsya Purana, where there is a discussion between Manu, that the great king Manu, Vaivasvata Manu, we hear about him, isn't it? So that Manu asks Matsya. So he says, between Daiva and Purushakara, which is greater? He says, which is stronger? He says, Matsya, he says, Daive Purushakaresha Kim Jayas tad bravihime Atrame Samshayo Deva Chetumarhasya Sheshataha. Oh my dear, oh God, I have got a doubt whether Daiva, that is this destiny, what we call destiny. Of course, destiny we may not be able to use because we don't know what are all the connotations of that word in the Christian theology. Because when we say destiny, I am not aware of what are the connotations in Christian theology. So better to use the word, for want of any other word, we can tentatively use that word destiny. Between destiny and Purushakara. Purushakara means human activity. Right now, whatever activity I do is that Purushakara. Between these two, which is stronger? Then Matsya Uvacha, then the Lord Vishnu himself in Matsya Avatara, he says, Swameva karma daivakyam vidhi dehantararjitam. Dehantararjitam swam eva karma vidhi. That is, you have acquired it. Dehantararjitam. In some other deha, you have arjitam. Arjitam means acquired by you, earned by you only. And that karma, that karma now is coming in the form of daivam. Daivam is the karma phalam. Karma daivam, by the word dharma, daivam, you please note that it is called, it is karma phalam. Our own karma comes in the form of a fruit. When it comes in the form of a fruit, it is called daivam. So that is what we see here in this Bhartrihari Subhashita. So here also he has given many quotations. And this quotation which I read out is from the Vachaspatyam. There is a dictionary in Sanskrit named Vachaspatyam. From the dictionary, you can download it on your, cell phone also. I'm reading out from this, my cell phone. So here, he says, Swameva karma, swam karma eva, your own karma, daivakyam, with the name of daivam. That is what? Vidhi dehantararjitam. In some other janma, you have done a karma. That karma is coming now to you back in the form of what is called daivam. So in our tradition, God, he doesn't, he gives only what is due to us. He cannot give more, he cannot give less. So in our tradition, even if we worship God, he will give us some good buddhi by which we can do some good karmas and neutralize some of the bad things. But he himself cannot do it. It is like that. Our system, our vyavastha is like that. So that is why our texts say, God is only karma phaladata, Ishvara, or whoever is that cosmic being, he is only karma phaladata. You have done a karma. He is only karma phaladata, nothing more. And if you worship him, he is not going to write off all those bad things. He is only giving to good buddhi. Deva, there is a shloka also. When the gods want to help you, they only buddhya sanyojayantitam, they say. Na deva dandamadaya rakshanti pashupalavat. Yam hi rakshitum icchanti buddhya sanyojayantitam. If gods want to protect somebody, so they only give him good buddhi so that he will do some good work, good deeds. So when we worship Lord, the Lord, by mere act of worship, we are surrendering before a higher entity. We are anchoring ourselves to a higher thing. And by that, we are, our other bad activities are gone and we do naturally perform some good works. And by performing some good works, we neutralize some of the bad daivam. So Daivam and Purushakaram are one and the same. The present day karma comes in the form of Daivam tomorrow. The present Daivam is whatever karma I had done yesterday. So that is how is the picture. And this doctrine of karma, time is around, it is nearing 12. The doctrine of karma is accepted in in all the Eastern religions, in all Indian religions particularly, and in all the Eastern religions also. Indian religions means even Nastika religions, Buddhism and Jainism, though they do not believe in God, they do accept karma and karma phalam and punarjanma, etc. They accept all this karma structure. Hinduism anyway, karma structure we accept. Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism. Sikhism is the last Hindu religion. So there also, Sikhism is very, very close to Advaita. If you see, in fact, I am happy that Indica Moksha is also having some study on Sikhism. It is very close to Advaita Vedanta if we see their Guru Grantha. And their Sikh Moola Mantra also, it is almost close to our Vedanta Vakyas. So anyway, and other Eastern religions also, the Taoism and then all other Chinese and Japanese, all these Southeast Asian religions, they all accept Punarjanma. They all accept this karma doctrine. Only in the Western hemisphere, only in the Western world, they don't have this. Or probably they also had it and then they stopped it somewhere in the middle. That's what I read somewhere. So this doctrine of karma, why are we accepting? If we don't accept this doctrine of karma or karma siddhanta, then we see there is so much of diversity in creation. There is so much of disparity. Somebody is born rich, somebody is born poor, and somebody is born with a nice body, and somebody is born with a very ugly body. Somebody is born with a healthy body, let us say, and somebody is born lame, deaf, dumb, etc., etc. How do you account for that? Is God, why is God favorable to somebody and why is God not favorable to somebody? Why has God made one person rich and another man poor? So the disparity is there. So because God cannot be somebody who has some favorites, not only here, even if God says, this is my chosen tribe, even in the chosen tribe, there are blind people, there are deaf people, etc. So there cannot be any chosen people for God. So God cannot be kind to somebody and unkind to somebody else. In fact, there is a big chapter in the Brahma Sutras on this. Vaishamya Nairgranya Adhikaranam. Vaishamya Nairgranya. God doesn't have any sort of enmity or dispassion or cruelty to anybody. Equal to all. Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu says Gita also. Then God is, what is God then? God is merely karma phala data, as that Matsya Puranam also said, or Vedanta also says, karma phala data. Then why have one more reason is, you are holding a person responsible or accountable for whatever he does. This karma siddhanta, acceptance of karma siddhanta is also having another effect, that is, a human being is held responsible for whatever he is doing. And this also promotes some good work in the society, good activity in the society. That is the reason why Indian society, by and large, it is very, very peaceful. We are never aggressive. We are by and large peaceful, basically peace-loving people, highly tolerant people. It is all because of our tradition. So now we come to this shloka, Daiva Paddhati. Daiva Paddhati, I will read a couple of slokas because I think it is getting time. So I'll read a couple of slokas. The first shloka is like this. That is shloka number 81. Netayasya Brahaspatihi. Netayasya Brahaspati Praharanam Vajram Sura Sainika. He is describing the situation of Lord Indra. Netayasya Brahaspatihi. Indra's Neta. Indra also has got a Neta. Who is that? Neta means not a leader. He's a spiritual leader, let us say. He's a guide, strategist. Neta, Naya Dhatu. As I said, Niti, I said, it is not necessarily moral. Morality is only one meaning. Neta, here you see, Neta is Brahaspati. The leader is Brahaspati. That is, he is a strategist. He is the man who tells, okay, now you go to war, now it is the right time. So this Shukracharya is similarly Neta to the demons. So Neta is Brahaspati. For him, for Indra, Neta is Brahaspati. Praharanam Vajram, his weapon is Vajrayudha, which is unparalleled. Then Suras Sainikaha, what is the army? All these gods, not ordinary foot soldiers. Then again Svargo Durgam. Then Svarga, that heavenly place, that is what is his Durgam, his place. Then Anugraha Kalu Harehe. And he is having all the blessings of Hari. Anugraha Hari. Harehe. Anugraha. Hari means blessing, Vishnu. Vishnu's blessings he has got. Airavano Varanaha. Airavana is that Airavatam. That is that elephant, huge elephant which came out from that ocean. That is his Varanam. Varanam is elephant. That is his Vahanam also. Iti Ashcharya Balan Vitopi. He is so immaculately, so spectacularly, so splendidly equipped with so many war weapons. Even then, Bhagnah Parais Sangare, even then he got defeated. Sangare means in the battle. Oh, then Daivameva Sharanam, Dik Dik Vrutha Paurusham. So Bhartrihari starts with a sort of negative note. Dik Dik Vrutha Paurusham. Dik Dik, oh, all our human activity. Dik Dik means, oh, whatever, fire in English. Dik Dik, in Telugu we say Chi Chi. Other language I don't know. Dik Dik, English, old English I know. Fire. Nowadays, they use some bad words for that. Okay, Vrutha Paurusham. All human activity is useless, he says. So here, then, he just starting with this note, only to refute it, only to negate it later. So he is just negating it immediately, saying that, no, it is not like that. Yatha Kandukapatena, sloka number 53, Yatha Kandukapatena Utpatatyarya Patannapi. Arya is Sreshta Vashakam. He says, when a rubber ball falls on the ground, it just bounces up. So similarly, an Arya means a rich, not a rich person, it is not racial sense. Arya means a respectable person. In all our Sanskrit literature, if we see, the word Arya is used to refer to a respectable, refined person. Then here, Arya, Utpatati, he just bounces back. Then what about Anarya? Anarya means the weak-minded, irresolute person, a sort of irresolute, weak-minded person. How does he fall? Tathat Vanarya Patati. Mrtpinda Mathanam Patanam Yatha. Mrtpinda. Suppose you take a lump of clay and then throw it on the ground. It doesn't bounce back. It just still gets stuck to the ground. So a person of irresolute mind, he falls like that. So here he says, he is just negating what he told in the first shloka. First shloka, he said, Dik Dik Vrutha Paurusham. Then if we say that Paurusham is Vrutha, then what will become of all the Shastras? When you say that everything is guided by destiny is supreme or something like that, then what about all the Shastras? Shastras are there. If a man is just guided by the fruit of the karma only, then all your efforts are going to be a waste. It's not so. Our Shastras very, very clearly say that there is a balance between what is called determinism and free will. Determinism is only to the extent of your birth in a particular place, in a particular family, in a particular environment. Then free will is there to promote yourself. All free will is there to excel in whatever field you want. So that is the reason why Shastras are there. Shastranarthakyam syat. We see that in Gita Bhashyam also in several places. All these Shastras, they are not irrelevant. If everybody if we are only guided by Daivam, then all the Shastras would become irrelevant. So Shastranarthakyam is never accepted. So that is why we accept free will also. There is a balance of determinism and also free will. Here, human body is actually, or human life is the place where you are supposed to do that course correction. That also we are going to see that. Actually, the very last shloka, which I want to read, is about that. Human body or human life is the karma bhumi, where you are supposed to do all that course correction and then rise up. Then we come to the next shloka, one more shloka here. Then one more shloka. Yeah, this again about the Daivam. We are not having much time, so I will skip this section and come to the next section where karma, he is talking about karma. So we now know the difference between karma and Daivam. Karma is the activity I do now, good or bad activity. And Daivam is the result of this activity, karma phalam, which I am going to get in next life. Or the present life, whatever is the fate which I am seeing, oh, this is my fate, this is my karma, etc. This is the result of whatever previous karma I have done in earlier lives. So that is the structure. And the structure is, it is a sort of hypothesis to explain the disparity in the world and to also explain that God is not kind to somebody and unkind to somebody else. Otherwise, we will have to attribute motives to God. God has created somebody good and somebody bad, etc. So I do not know how other religions answer this. So the reason why this karma hypothesis is accepted is this only. I gave 4 or 5 reasons. So that these are the reasons. Then now he says the karma paddhati. Karma paddhati, the way of karma. Karma is good or bad deeds. What is that? He starts with a prayer to karma. Then first of all he starts praising gods. Then he realizes, oh, these gods are also they are also guided by karma. They are they are also under the control of Daivam or fate. And again, okay, now let me worship Vidhi, or rather the creator. Even that creator also is helpless. He will only give according to whatever you have done. He has no other freedom. That is what he says. He first says, Namasyamo Devaha. Okay, we worship all the gods. But Nanu, Hatavidhes, Tepi Vashagaha. Oh, they are also under the control. They are also bound by their Vidhi. Then now Vidhir Vandyaha. Now let me worship this Vidhi or Brahma or creator as we call it. Sopi Pratiniyata Karmaika Phaladaha. Pratiniyata Karmaika Phaladaha. This is another word for Karma Phaladata. Pratiniyata means necessarily whatever is due, calculate exactly in a calculated way. Pratiniyata Karmaika Phaladaha. Whatever karma phala is there, he just karma phaladaha. Phalada means phalam, he gives phalam. That is why he is karma phalam he gives. So he is called karma phaladaha. Then phalam karmayatam. Then where is this phalam from? This phalam karmayatam, whatever phalam is depending on my karma. Then kima maraganaihi kincha vidhina. Why should I bother about all these gods and why should I bother about all this creator, etc.? Let me do namaskara to karma only. Namastat karmabhyo vidhirapi nayebhyah prabhavati. Namastat karmabhyah means I bow to this karma. That means I will try to do good karma only. That is what it means. Not as though just does namaskara and keeps quiet. Namastat karmabhyo vidhirapi nayebhyah prabhavati. Even vidhi means the creator. Even that Vidhi is another name for Vidhata, Vishwasud, Vidhi. It is one of the names for Brahma. That is Chaturmukha Brahma. One of the names is Vidhi. So even that Chaturmukha Brahma, he is helpless. Vidhirapi na ebhyah prabhavati. Even he doesn't have power. He is only a karma phaladata, he says. So this is what we find here. And here again, very beautiful shloka, one more beautiful shloka I will read. Karma is something, as I said, it does a lot of course correction. What is this course correction? Ya sadhunscha khalan karoti. Sadhun khalan sadhun karoti. That is bad people. Khala means bad. Bad people are turned into sadhus, saintly people, sages. Then again, vidusho murkhan. Murkha, some foolish fellow. He becomes a wise person. Then again, hitan dveshinaha. Somebody who is a dveshi, or somebody who is your enemy. That enemy becomes your friend. Then again, pratyaksham kurute paroksham. Something unknown is made known. Pratyaksham kurute paroksham. Whatever is paroksham, something which is unknown, it becomes pratyaksham, it becomes known. Amrutam halahalam takshanat. Halahalam also becomes amrutam. So these are all the things which a man can achieve by doing good karma. That is what he says. Tam aradhaya satkriyam. Ya sadhuns chakhalan karoti. Ya, that is started with a feminine word, feminine pronoun. Here again, he says, Tam aradhaya satkriyam. Satkriya, he is referring to that. Satkriya is again in a feminine gender. Tam aradhaya satkriyam. You follow that satkriya. Do all satkarma only. Bhagavatim bhoktum phalam vanchitam. That satkarma itself is prayed as a Bhagavati. Bhagavatim bhoktum phalam vanchitam. Hey sadhu, vesanair guneshu vipule swastham krutha vurtha amakrudha. Oh, my dear friends, do not bother for all these silly Guneshu Vipuleshu means this Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna, they present so many attractive things in life. Rajoguna, particularly Rajoguna, presents so many good things in life. So all those things, Guneshu Vipuleshu, Vyasanaihi Guneshu Vipuleshu, all these Sattva Rajas Tamogunas, the commentator writes about these three gunas, the gunas which present so many allurements in life. Don't fall for all these allurements in life, he says. Astham, murtham, akrudha. Do not fall for them. Then again, one more sloka I will read. Okay, here it says, Shubhram Sadma, Savibhrama Yuvatayah, Shvetata Patrojvala. Here again, the context is all these things. A very great house is there and a very lively Savibhrama Yuvatayah. Savibhrama means all vivacious women are there. Then again, there is all royal wealth is there. All these things, they are there as a result of your karma phala. But when karma phala is gone and all your good karma is spent away, and if you do not do good karma now, all these old things can go away like a string of beads. All these good things which have come to you, they are like a string of all good things, good karma. All karma phalam, it has come in a string. And when you, if you do not continue it by doing some good karma, that string will break and all those things will fall like pearls. You see, when flowers fall there only. But when pearls fall, they just get scattered. You can't find them easily. So it is like a string of pearls which breaks, and then all the pearls get scattered if you do not do good karma. So that is going to be that. And he adds some sense of Sringara also for that breaking of thread. That breaking of thread happens in pranaya kalaha. When pranaya kalaha means when the man and woman in the bedroom, when they fight, somebody becomes angry and breaks the thread, and then all the pearls are strewn all away, all around. So all the beads, usually pearls are all strung into a thread. They are strung into a thread, strung into a garland rather. All the pearls, they are strung into a garland. And when the garland, that sutra or thread breaks, all the things they fall off. So all the things which are all the good things which we have got, they all break off like that. The nice shloka I will read. Shubhram Sadma. Sadma is a house, very nice house. Savibhrama Yuvatayah, not dull women, but Savibhrama. Vibhrama means very lively and vivacious women. Shvetata Patrojvala Lakshmi. Lakshmi, that is wealth. What type of wealth? Shveta Atapatrojvala. Atapatra means an umbrella. Shveta Atapatra is white umbrella. White umbrella is a royal insignia, one of the royal insignia. So that royal insignia, Shveta Atapatra Ujjvala. So that means I am having all the wealth of that royalty. Then again, Lakshmi, Ityanubhuyate Chiram, Chiram Anusyute Shubhe Karmani. All these things are all enjoyed by us. As a result of, they are all strung together. They are all strung together like gems and all that, and then they are presented to you. Shubhe karmani, all good karmas are all good karma phala. Karma phala, the fruit of good karma is strung into a garland and given to you. And if you don't follow it up by good karma, then all these things, vichinne nitaram ananga kalaha krida trutat kantukam muktajalameva prayati. Jaditi, Brashyat, Disho Drusyatam, Disho Adrusyatam. He says, Vichinne Nitaram Ananga Kalaha. Ananga Kalaha. Oh, who is Ananga? Ananga is a bodiless person, limbless person. Who is the limbless person? That is, we know that god of love, that is Manmatha. He was cursed by, not cursed, he was burnt into ashes by Shiva. And then he is available only for Rati Devi. Rati Devi does Prarthana again, and then for Rati Devi he is seen, and then by all others he is not seen. So that is the fate of Manmatha. Manmatha is somebody who is limbless. Ananga Kalaha means Pranaya Kalaha. When man and woman, they are in the bedroom and then they are fighting for something. Anyway, then what happens? Kalaha Krida, that also it's not a serious Kalaha. He also writes Krida. I'm sorry, this is not a serious Kalaha, it is a Kalaha Krida. We are just doing some Kalaha Krida. Pranaya Kalaham is there. So in that Krida, suddenly that thread breaks. When the thread breaks, Muktajalameva Prayati Jaditi, immediately all those pearls, they just fall on the ground, and then Disho Adrusyatam. Adrusyatam is they just disappear. They just fall and get scattered everywhere. So that is how it is, unless you follow it up by some good action. So it's one nice shloka. Then again, I just end the session by reading one final shloka. One final shloka is, this human life. It is talking about the human life. You see, a human life is the place where we are supposed to do some course correction. Even if there is some bad daivam, here we are expected to do some good karma and try to get into a better frame. So what is this? So a person who does not do that, in fact, Upanishads, they say he is Atmahano Janaha. Ekecha Atmahano Janaha says Iti Ishavasya Upanishad. They are the people who are killing their Atma. They are doing Atmahatya. The people who are not doing anything good in this life, they are the people who are doing Atmahatya. The people who are not trying to know what is, not trying to know their real nature, who do not do Atma Vichara, they are the people who are doing Atmahatya, it says. So, of course, here, he is not going to that level. He is only saying, they are the people, they are fools. What does he say? Sthalyam Vaiduryamayam Pachati Tilakhalam Chandanaihi Indhanauhaihi. So he has got a very nice vessel made of gems. Usually a vessel studded with gems. It is a showpiece. Basically, you see, you go to a museum and then you see all types of vessels, beautiful vessels studded with gems, diamonds, etc. So this man takes a vessel like that and he puts it on fire, and then he is what is that fire stick? Firewood is Chandanaihi Indhanauhaihi. He has taken all sandalwood. Sandalwood, it has to be used as a sandalwood paste only, and not as some fuel. So this he is using it. And then cooking, what is he cooking? Tila khalam. He's just cooking some tila. Tila is some sesame seeds. Some sesame seeds. He's just putting something and then cooking something. Tila is such a common thing. In fact, tila, why is the word using tila? Tila is such a very, very common small thing. So he is using that great vessel, which is such a great showpiece. So he is using it in a wasteful manner. Then Savarnaihi Langalagraihi Vilikhati Vasudham Arkatulasya Hetu. He wants to find some small root of some poisonous, some datura seed, what we call datura plant, what we call jilledu. Arkatulasya. Arkatula means Arka molasya, also there is a pathantaram. So he wants to find some small root of a datura plant, and then he takes a plow made of gold. Plow made of gold, with all golden plow. He wants to plow the land in order to find some small root of a poisonous plant. Then again, Chitwa Karpura Khandan, Vrutimiha Kurute, Kodravanam Samanta. Again, another Karpura trees. I have not seen the Karpura trees. Karpura trees, he cuts out Karpura, precious, very, very precious Karpura trees. And then Vrutimiha Kurute, he uses it for fencing. And fencing what? For some small lowly crop, very, very lowly crop, very, very cheap crop, Kodravanam. That is a very small, cheap grain. For that, he has made a fence. And that fence is made of all these Karpura trees, which are so precious. Then who does all these things? Prapya imam karma bhumim, prapya imam karma bhumim, na bhajati manujaha, tapo mandabhagyaha. Mandabhagyaha means that unfortunate person. Mandam bhagyam yasya, that is a person who is a such unfortunate fellow, such person. What does he do? Imam karma bhumim prapya. Having got this karma bhumi, this human life is a result of both good and bad deeds. Suppose a person is lot many bad deeds. So he goes to Tiriyak Janma, according to our Karma Siddhanta. Tiriyak Janma is maybe some animal, and some serpent, some snake, some other animal, some dog, whatever it is. Or he does lot many good karmas. Lot many good karmas means a sort of divine life. So, but Manushya Janma is because of a mixture of good and bad karma. So, Prapya Imam Karma Bhumim. This is a Karma Bhumi. Karma Bhumim Prapya. Na bhajati manujaha tapaha. So he doesn't do tapa. He doesn't do austerities. He doesn't purify himself. Tapa is a process of purification. Tapa, as I said, has two meanings. That is heating and thinking. So heating again leads to purification. Heating anything leads to purification only. Thinking again leads to purification. So tapa is a process for self-purification. So a person who does not do tapa in this life, in this karma bhumi, he is a fool. So he is a fool comparable to the earlier people. That is, a person takes a huge diamond vessel and cooks some stupid, some ordinary food, or he wants to plow with a golden plow. So this human level is such a precious thing. The human life is such a precious thing. With this precious tool, you have got some precious tools. With these precious tools, you have to attain bigger results and not some stupid results, he says. So you have got very mighty tools, and with all these mighty tools, you have to achieve bigger results. So here, one point which we have to note is karma bhumi. When we say karma bhumi, many people think that India is karma bhumi, Bharat Desham is karma bhumi. That is not so. In one or two Puranas, there is a mention that Bharat Desham is a place where tapo bhumi, karma bhumi, etc. That is in a limited sense. That is, lot many sages were born. For example, you take a place like Kashi or all these pilgrim centers. So these are the places where very great saints, they lived there. Not many hundreds and hundreds of great saints, they lived there and then they did tapas. So there is some strength in that particular place. So there, suppose you do, and then you do some good karma, it gives good result. So that is our belief. It is okay. But then karma bhumi, when you come to Vedanta, karma bhumi, bhumi means level. You know the words called saptavidha yoga bhumi, yoga bhumayah. Saptavidha yoga bhumaya. In yoga literature, they talk about 7 levels of yoga bhumis, 7 steps. The very first bhumi is Shubhecha, they say. Shubhecha. I get an idea. Oh, let me read Bhagavad Gita. That Shubhecha itself is the first level. So like that, it grows and grows and grows. Right to Paramahamsa, and beyond that also it grows. Avadhuta, it goes to that level. So these are various levels of yoga bhumikas, yoga bhumika or yoga bhumai, yoga bhumis, or bhumis plurally, bhumi, the plural for bhumi is bhumayah, saptavidha yoga bhumayah, it says. So here again, karma bhumi means this is the plane on which, this is the level, this is the plane on which you have to do karma. You have to do some good karma and then do some course correction. If we don't do that, then we again fall. So that is what it is. Pratyamam karma bhumim na bhajati manujo manujas tapo mandabhagya. This fellow doesn't do tapas. So he is mandabhagya. He is such a fool. Even the commentator also writes here, idrusho durbhagaha. Durbhagaha is again is a very strong word. Commentator has used it very casually. Idrusho durbhagaha iti ashankya. Ityashankyayam aha imam karma bhumim. Karma bhumim is karmacharana yogya bhumim prapya. Karmacharana yogya bhumim. This human life is the only place. We don't see animals performing rituals, etc. For gods, etc., they have already reached a higher stage. That is called a bhoga bhumi. Karma bhumi is this stage. Karma bhumi is this stage. Gods also can do some karma. But then what Gita says is, in this karma bhumi, the result is faster. Shipram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja, he says in Gita, 4th chapter. Shipram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. So karma phala siddhi is faster on in this human plane. Devas, they have already done some good work. So okay, they also get result, but it is not so fast. Maybe it is a sort of concession given to human beings. Lord is very charitable to human beings. Oh, you fellows, you do some good work so that you will get some good life after life. So somewhat like that. So this karma bhumi is something which we have to understand. It is not India as such, because Bharat Desham, it has shrunk. Bharat Desham, what was Bharat Desham in Vedic times? It has shrunk. Lot of it has gone. Maybe only some 2/3 is remaining, or only half of it is remaining. So if something else also goes away by any foolish activity, then where is karma bhumi? Karma bhumi will be somewhere America. America is bhoga bhumi. Some people also say India is karma bhumi, America is bhoga bhumi. Whatever karma you do, if you do some Satyanarayana Vratam or some other Vratam, it doesn't give good result. It is totally wrong. This is totally against what Vedanta tells. He may be quoting some Purana, something else, that is a different thing, but it is totally against Vedanta. So we have to, Vedanta is our doctrine. So we have to follow the doctrine and not some statement which in a totally different context is made in some Puranas. So this is where I think this is the shloka number 96, which I read. With this shloka, I will close this Karma Paddhati also. Karma Paddhati, again, a very beautiful section. So I will now close. We will now have some discussion if there are any questions. Probably the discussion today is rather serious because karma and daivam, it is some serious discussion. Nitinji?
Sorry, I got my system got hanged there.
Oh, sorry.
I am not able to see myself. Are you able to see me?
Yeah, I'm able to see you and hear you.
Okay. Thank you, Aravinda ji, again for another wonderful Very insightful session. The more I hear it, the more I'm intrigued with this Niti-Shatakam, and hopefully I will get chance to read more detail the text. Viewers, now is the time. If we have 5 more minutes, so any quick questions, if you have, Aravinda ji will take up now. Aravinda ji, can you suggest any good translations that in English or in some other languages also that interested people can read of this Niti-Shatakam?
Yeah, English. In fact, I wanted to locate on net, but I could not find, unfortunately, because I wanted to some good words, correct words for certain Sanskrit words. Unfortunately, I didn't find any. I have only one text, as I said, that is the Orient, the Southern recension, Southern edition, along with some explanation in Telugu. Sanskrit commentary is there. And some explanation in Telugu. This is the book which I have.
Okay.
And this is published by Vavilla Ramaswamy Shastrulu and Sons, very old publishers, very old publishers. Vavilla Ramaswamy Shastrulu and Sons. They might have done some good work in your Karnataka also. If there is a book published by them in Kannada, or maybe in Kannada, you may be having lot many books because Karnataka has so many great scholars. So you might be having some good book. I suggest that better to read in our own native language first and then go to some English translation, because certain adjectives we may not immediately get. My problem in teaching was I could not get immediately some right adjectives to describe. For example, Paropakara Paddhati. Then Daivam itself, of course, it is untranslatable. Daivam is rather not translatable because Daivam cannot mean destiny. Then Dhairya Paddhati, Sujana Paddhati, some correct adjectives I could not get. So if we get some translation by an Englishman, maybe that may be a good, say we get the appropriate words.
Okay, we have to check whether English translation even exists or not.
Yeah, English translation may be there. I tried to locate on internet. I couldn't see.
Okay, wonderful. We have not received any questions as of now. I had one question that I wanted to ask.
Yes.
When we speak about the Purushartha of Artha, the first thing comes to our mind is money or wealth. But I have realized in my own personal reading that the Artha has a more deeper context, more deeper meaning, not just wealth or resources also, but more in the sense of power. For example, in Chanakya's Artha Shastra, it's all about how to rule, the power play, and how to govern the nation. And money is an important part. The resources are central to, but still it's about political power. It's about power. So do we get that sense of meaning in Niti Shastra also?
Nitishataka has not covered that sense, but what you said is right about Artha. Artha not necessarily means money and resources. Artha also says, as Kautilya says, Artha is also that political power and all that. So that is part of Rajoguna. You see, Artha comes as part of Rajoguna. Rajoguna is twofold. Rajoguna, when dominated by our, when guided by Sattvaguna, it becomes kingly, royal, Rajas and, let me clarify, Rajoguna is primary and Sattvaguna is secondary. When that is so, it is the Kshatriya nature. That is where you want to dominate, and where you want to have power, etc. What Shankaracharya, there is a beautiful line of Shankaracharya. Sattva upasarjana rajah pradhanaha, he says. Sattva upasarjana rajah pradhanasya kshatriyasya, he says. Sattva is secondary and rajas is primary. Then tama upasarjana rajah pradhanasya vaishyasya. Vaishya is somebody who is having the same rajoguna in a slightly different angle. You see, acquiring money is again a product of rajoguna only, but their sattvaguna is not guiding, but the tamoguna is secondary there. Sattvaguna goes to say the third place. This is what we find in Shankaracharya's commentary on this Chaturvarnyam Maya Sushtam Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. So in that sloka, under that sloka, if we see the commentary, so the combination of Sattvaguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna leads to 4 different types of personalities. There again, not castes. It is only varna, different types of personalities, not castes. So that is how Rajo Guna, as you said, it includes that sense of power and all that. It is very much there. In fact, I should have said that. Thank you for enlarging my understanding of it, or rather I had forgotten. So I will also note it.
Thank you for highlighting Aravindaji. I think with this we come to a conclusion of this session. It was a very interesting session, and I look forward to the segment on Sringara-Shatakam and then Vairagya-Shatakam. I think only then we can truly say that we have completed an introduction to Bhartrihari. So,
Exactly.
on the behalf of all our viewers and entire Advaita Academy, I thank you for taking time and doing this wonderful session, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Viewers, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter and Facebook for more updates. And we will be announcing the subsequent sessions on Sringara-Shatakam and Vairagya-Shatakam as once we finalize the dates and all. So follow us on our social media channels to know the dates and register for the sessions. With this, we conclude this session. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha.
Thank you.